It's interesting, when you bring up like Fletcher Cox, right, and the D-line play, and when it comes to Smitty being productive in that 17 game stretch, right? The person that comes to my mind immediately is Javon Hargrave. Now, Javon Hargrave is someone who came out the gates hot last season. I think he had about six or five sacks through 4 or 5 games, something like that. He was on a tear, but then he began to plateau, and I don't know if teams were beginning to double team him. I'm not sure if he just was starting to run out of gas. It could be a plethora of things. But nonetheless, he did overall have a career year as a Philadelphia Eagle. Had a career year in sacks, had a
Mhm.
career year in tackles, had a career year in quarterback hits. So he's trending in the right direction. I
Certainly.
know I know we both mutually agree that Fletcher Cox most likely will not be here next year. Javon Hargrave is entering. Well, he is in a contract year, and I guess that begs the question: what are your expectations for Javon Hargrave entering the season? Do you think he's likely to get that second contract with Philadelphia? And also keep this in mind: you drafted Jordan Davis, you still have Milton Williams, who the organization is high on, and who knows what they do in next year's draft at the D tackle position. But
Mm.
the floor is yours.
Yeah, I think they really like Javon Hargrave. And I think one of the things that was touched upon shortly after the draft, actually, excuse me, after the first round of the draft. No, it was the second round of the draft when Cam Jurgens was taken, and I didn't react too kindly to that at the time.
I know.
But what if you remember after that, when they did take Nakobe Dean in the third round, and Howie Roseman came out and addressed the media, he said, "We're always going to take care of the trenches first. We're always going to take care. That's our MO. That's how we build our business, basically." And that's why they decided to take the center, even though he's going to be a backup, over, or he could even start at guard. Who knows? But that's why they took the center before they took the linebacker. That's a very pivotal thing. If you're a defensive or offensive lineman on this football team, and you have shown the least bit of upside, they are most likely going to bank on you. I think Fletcher Cox is the guy that's out. I think Javon Hargrave is the guy that stays after this year. I think you have Milton Williams, as you mentioned. I've talked to him. He's a great guy, great attitude. I love everything about that guy. Most notably his talent on the football field. But I think they have Jordan Davis. I think they have Milton Williams. I think they can rely on those two young guys as they start to grow in their NFL careers and have them play with, not behind, but with a more experienced guy like Javon Hargrave. I think Javon Hargrave becomes the senior in the class, where you have a couple of guys that are going into their what will be next year, their junior and sophomore season. So I think Fletcher Cox moves out, and I think Javon Hargrave comes in as the guy that will be the more veteran presence in the locker room, so to speak.
Yeah, because Javon Hargrave, he's 29. I think he just turned 29, and you're right. He will be that veteran on the defensive line outside of BG. I know BG claims he wants to be here playing, get that 15th season. Who knows if that'll be in Philadelphia? But most likely, Javon Hargrave will be the veteran on the defensive line, and that's going to be important for him to be able to step up and essentially lead by example.